Toot, toot, baby. It's time to ride the funk train. This is the third time me and poor John Stoll II Silverback has tried to do this damn thing for you people. So I hope you appreciate it and send him some cookies because the first time we did it totally got scrapped. The second time it totally got scrapped. We're just going to do it live. No more editing. No more trying to save it. And then I did a bull crap thing last week trying to save it. The audio sounded like hell, but we're just going to go live because you sound good to me. Do I sound good to you?
You sound good. Let's do it.
Crystal clear. John?
Yeah.
First time maybe somebody's ever heard your voice or anything like that. Introduce yourselves to the Atari 7800 people and the people of the Big and Funky universe.
Yeah, I'm John, better known as Silverback over at Atari Age. Written a few reviews on Atari7800forever.com. Check it out if you haven't.
Word.
But yeah, I'm just a guy that likes the 7800, loves the 7800. So
you poor fool. Well,
right, yeah, I'm a sucker.
We decided to there was a lot of news, and like we started off wanting to do a podcast, and we kind of had some ideas. It was like, hey, let's do this and this, and we were the first podcast we did that got lost to the annals of time was one where we were talking about our favorite homebrews for the last 2 years, and it was a way to kind of give some shout outs to Atari 7800 people. And it got lost, and it was cutesy and it was great and everything, you did a great job with your part, and I'm always awesome. So it was awesome. And then like 2 weeks later, everything changed. And there's a lot of confusion, and I talked about it last week, but I do want to get your opinions on it. So, Atari Age is having, and if for those of you who don't know, Atari Age is this big, it's really an independent website. It's got forums and a lot of history, but they really have a store, and they have a lot of unique games for the 2600, 5200, 7800, Lynx and Jaguar and beyond. And they have put out that they're going to have a last chance sale, and it sounds like, hey, we lost our consignment lease down here at the wholesale bedroom warehouse or whatever. Come on down. But it really sucks because there's going to be a lot of games gone forever. Now, I went over that last week, but what are your thoughts about Atari Age gutting their homebrew library for basically they're getting rid of anything that could be a license, some sort of conflict in the future?
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming. Especially games like Popeye that just came out. All the games that just came out. Keystone Coppers is a big one. Pac-Man, the 40th anniversary collection, that's a big one. These are games that, just hit the store. And I was talking to people on the forums, and, I just listening to what they had to say. They were planning on picking up some of these games in a month, 2 months, end of the year. And now all of a sudden you don't have time to wait. If you want these games, get out the credit card and start swiping. So it was kind of a shocker, especially for the newer stuff. I have no idea what occurred. I made a guess on our last show, so
that no one saw.
Right? Yeah.
So what was you? Since nobody saw it except for me, what was your guess?
Yeah. Well, I at first I said a cease and desist. Probably. I'm thinking Popeye is the big game that would have led to that. That was my guess. Maybe not even a cease and desist, but maybe a friendly reminder from a lawyer that this is our property, so you have until X date to get it out of the store. That would be my guess. That seems most logical to me. But
so there, every game that was in an arcade that was owned by anybody, any homebrew, any video game in the store that was made by some sort of company that's not an original intellectual property from somebody's just mind. For example, Revan Tully just did this Dragon trilogy of just weird storms versus flames dragon universe or whatever. Those are safe. Things like Vlad's Night Guy stuff is completely safe. These are things that these guys come up with. Anything that's like Popeye, anything that's like Pac-Man, anything that it is known and exists on any other platform is pretty much kaput. So if you want to get some games, not only for the 7800, but for any of the systems, go over to AtariAge.com and check them out. We went over the list. It's a pretty extensive list, and I kind of did that last time, and I don't want to repeat myself.
Have you noticed that anything that's an Atari property is still on the store?
Okay, so you're getting cute. This is what, this is the rumor that I've heard. Okay, and I'm sure by the time this releases, which is now, but by the time people start seeing this, I think people are going to be wise to this rumor. Now, this is just conversation. This is not accusation between me and John, and we're just talking amongst our 3 dozen fans that look at our website, Atari7800forever.com. By the way, every game is reviewed, or we're getting that way. But anyway, so you say all the Atari games are safe.
Yep.
What? Here's the thing that I heard. Atari, the company that exists as Atari now, which is not, of course, was the game. It was was the company from the 70s from Sunnyvale that basically invented Silicon Valley. Now it's been passed through a few times. It's like an old hooker at a damn college party. But what we know as Atari now has been making a lot of moves, and the rumor that I heard is that Atari is going, or they're interested, or they're going to buy AtariAge.com. And that means the site, and that means the store. And I know Albert and Albert's the guy that runs it. I think back in the day, wasn't there 2 guys that ran it? There was Al, and there was another guy with started with it. Was it Andy or something? Or there was another.
Yeah, I know there was at least one other guy. I can't. That was long time ago.
But Albert's been basically shouldering the storm, and I can see that we're all getting older. Anybody gives a shit about Atari 7800 games and 2600. So he'll say, "Oh, I'm releasing a game or a bunch of games in October. It'll be 9 months before it hits the store." And so I can see that it's probably wearing on him, the stress. And none of these guys are making a killing. But if Atari buys Atari Age, I have mixed feelings about this.
Yeah.
What do you think about those rumors?
That's a pretty crazy rumor. It could make sense. I mean, if Atari Age was going to go for sale, or if somebody was interested in it, Atari would be the company that would want it. And let's face it, Atari Age kept interest in the community going for the 20 years where Atari really wasn't doing anything with
absolutely
the retro stuff. Yeah. So I mean, if they want to be in the middle of the community, if they want their finger on the pulse, if they want to directly interact with their market, the consumers that are most likely to buy their stuff, it makes a lot of sense for Atari to buy Atari Age. But whether it's good or not, I'm split just like you.
I've got Atari. I think in the last year, the 50th anniversary was kind of like their "Are you going to do this or what?" moment. And it seems like if I had to grade 2022 with Atari, they put more games in their store for Atari VCS. They released more Atari Recharge games. The they're having problems with the Atari VCS. You've always asked me, hey, should I get this? And I'm still like, John, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Right now, my Atari VCS will not stop trying to update. So I've got to, there's probably another issue. I got to go I got to do a flash save the system, another bull crap thing. These things, they're trying, but they're not succeeding sometimes. They had a couple of exclusives. They're releasing these recharge games. They release a lot of crap on their store. They'll have here's the thing that worries me. They just released a game called Atari Jump and Run, which is the first official Atari cartridge in 20-something years, they said.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much it is, but it was expensive. So if they take over Atari Age, you can buy some games at Atari Age for like $35-$40. I'm worried, if Muddy Funster releases EXO, am I going to have to buy it for $179 and get a couple stickers and a plastic figurine? I mean, that's what I'm worried about. It's the greed of Atari. I'm for Atari. That's why we're doing this. And I enjoy that there's some sort of entity out there doing what it's doing. Because let's talk about what they're about to release. They just did Mr. Run and Jump. Okay. I don't know. That may be good or not. They are releasing Atari homebrews, which on this channel, I did a review of the VCS, and I said, this is what they need to do to keep the Atari VCS, this new system, alive, is release these homebrews that are just sitting out there. And I'm sure everybody would be like, sure. And then last video, I said they've got Failsafe, the Atari 7800 game by Bob De Crescenzo. Everybody loves Bob, Pac-Man Plus. That's on the store for $4.99. Okay, well, that's a good thing, right? I mean, can you imagine buying all the homebrews and playing them on an Atari system for $4 or $5 instead of having to pay $60 for a box and all the manuals and stuff? That's a plus.
Oh yeah.
So if they start integrating that stuff, if Atari doesn't buy Atari Age and all the homebrews can be played on Steam, can be played on the Nintendo Switch, can be played on the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Atari VCS, that's awesome for all these dudes. And they can still release the physical card. Let's just even go over what they're releasing, like they announced this week. Have you seen what the Atari VCS is doing this week or in the last 10 days or so?
Last 10 days. What did they do?
They've announced and they've released trailers. They're going to release Haunted House Recharged.
Oh yeah, yep.
Which is a recharge of or a reimagining and a modernization of Haunted House for the Atari 2600, which I've never been a crazy fan of, but I am definitely going to check that out. They're going to do the recharged of Quantum, first arcade game made by a woman, and it was one of the first arcade games ever where there was no shooting.
Wow.
And do you know what Quantum is? It was a trackball game. You basically try to circle all these things and gobble them up. Okay. Pretty good. I don't know. That's not the game for me, but they've released a trailer that looks awesome for another game I don't really give two shits about, but they made this trailer look so awesome. I don't know if you saw it, but they're going to redo. It's not a recharge game ever. It's called Lunar Lander Beyond. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
It looks awesome. At least the trailer does. Yes. And that's going to be on the VCS and all the other platforms as well. So Atari's moving. They're acquiring properties. And if they acquire Atari Age, good grief. That means, John, that all the homebrews can be played, possibly, all the legal ones at least, if they acquire all and they get everybody's attention, they're going to put all the Jaguar, Lynx, 2600, all that stuff on one system. What do you think about that?
Well, like you said, having those games available on probably the VCS, definitely having them on Steam, I imagine. And like you said, the Switch, I could see them doing a collection of games for $50, get 5 homebrews, or you could have the Bobby D collection. But that'd be an awesome collection. I'd buy that. But I think it's a great thing, especially if the guys are still getting some sort of royalty for their work. That would be huge for them, I would think. I think for most people, it's going to be a good thing because again, going to the forums, you hear a lot of people talk about how they want digital ROMs of the games because
Yeah.
international shipping.
Yeah.
These guys have been collecting for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
They don't have room for anything more. If they get one more thing, their wife will kill them. I mean,
Right.
I know what that's like. But yeah, I think a lot of people want digital. So having a $5 copy of a game, a $10 copy of like an EXO, I think most people would be happy. But like you said,
Whoops. Sorry, it's Lenny
yeah,
Kravitz again. Hold on a second.
yeah, there you
Hey,
go.
Lenny, I know it's Lisa Bonet broke up with Jason Mimosa. So, hey, man,
Uh,
I'm doing a podcast, Lenny. Let me call you back, buddy. Thank you. All right.
but I think Atari, the company that currently is known as Atari, thinks of these cartridges that they release, the PCB boards of the arcade games that they sell on the website. They think of that stuff as
That's crazy stuff.
novelty items that they can charge an arm and a leg for. And that, me being a guy that likes my cartridges, I worry about that part. But
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing that scares me the most is I don't want to pay $190 for Bob
right.
DeCrescenzo's Crazy
No
Bricks.
matter how many stickers you get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Crazy Bricks. Pardon me. Crazy Bricks is awesome, by the way.
Hmm.
I'm not saying it's not worth money, but that's just for an example. But be that as it may, that is just a rumor, but it will be interesting. And like you said, you brought up a great point too. Atari Age was the harbinger of Atari and kind
Hmm.
of it was kind of the banner master of the whole idea of Atari for 20 years. And I
Hmm.
think I'll have a tear in my eye if it gets absorbed into something that is just a money making. And of course, Atari wants to make money, and I want them to make
Yeah.
money, but I don't want them to get greedy. It's like what you say. They're going to release a major Havoc PC board and charge somebody $170. I have no
Yep.
idea who that's for. I was stupid enough. I bought the Atari 2600 Gravatar collector. Did you see those things they released on the
Yeah.
website? It was
Yeah.
like $100 per Atari
Yep.
2600 cartridge, and there was 10 of them. It was
Yep.
$1,000 if you wanted those 10 games. I was dumb enough to buy one. I wanted to buy, and I got Gravatar because it was number 10, and I was kind of in a Gravatar thing. And talking about the recharge games, the Gravatar Recharge is fantastic. It's probably the best recharge game that I've played. But I don't know why I spent that on that. And now, like you're telling me this, I gotta go get this. We're talking under the table. People are. Do you think people are panicking or anything over at the forums, or any of the hobby programmers, or any of the hobbyists? Do you think there's a sense of dread? I kind of do, don't you?
At first, especially, yeah. But I've noticed that a lot of the programmers, the guys that make the games, the hobbyists, the talent over at Atari Age, they've, at least on the 7800 board, they've been quiet lately. So I mean,
Hmm.
maybe there's more to the silence than if they were talking. I don't know, but it's been a little quiet as far as the discussions that were going on initially. So
Well, people have bills and lives, and this isn't the end of the world, but it is
yeah.
very interesting. That's why we've tried to do 3 of these damn podcasts in about a month. We're talking about how often do you want to do these podcasts? Do we want to start making fun of zero-page homebrew just to get a little Canadian American fist fight?
Yeah.
Just a playful thing between them and their damn cats. I get hay fever watching their damn show. But anyway, I'm just kidding. You guys are great. They are Canadian, right? Is that why they're
Yeah,
so
yeah,
weird?
that yeah,
I was
that's
I was wondering why they're so freaking weird.
yeah, they're
So anyway,
Canadian, eh?
hey, what you doing
Hey.
here? I'm gonna get the back bacon and the kitty cats all over my bowls. But anyway, we're just playing. I don't know them guys. They're probably, I don't know if they have a sense of humor. Well, if they're Canadian, they do have a sense of humor, right? They're
Oh
supposed
yeah,
to.
they'll
Canadians are really funny people. So anyway, um, but they're probably a little nicer than we are. I'm
yeah.
definitely, I'm a bad guy pro wrestler. I'm kind of an a hole,
Yeah.
and I've brought John. John's a sweetheart, and that Silverback is not. He's got a monstrous name, but he's not a bad person. But we may not. We may do a podcast next week. We may do one in 9 months if nothing happens. I mean, it's just really if there's something to say that I don't. I'm kind of tired of writing articles. I think the way to go is videos. So I mean, I used to write articles and stuff, and then my typo. I'm just terrible at typos, and it was just a nonstop fist fight. That's why we're going with the reviews with the videos too. But yeah, it's just a weird place, and there's 4 games I haven't bought that are on the store, and I just got to pull the trigger, and it's a lot of money, and then I just I'm like, man, God, man, this is just crazy. I've spent a lot of money in the last month. I'm just like, and used to I didn't. I'm producing 2 movies right now. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's just continual kicks in the junk. But I'm going to have to pull the trigger because I want these games for the collection. And the other thing is too, there's other things that I want to buy that's associated with this stuff too. So, so let's switch gears a little bit. That was the rumor I wanted to talk about. I don't know. Maybe some people can jump in later, but let's see here. Let's talk about you. You were talking about something that I'm interested in. I hate the emulation stuff. I'm a high touch, not high tech kind of guy. And I think the thing that's interesting about me and you being together is that you don't program video games. I don't program video games. You never worked for Atari. I never worked for Atari. I don't know anything. If you cut up an Atari 7800, I wouldn't know how to put it together if you put a gun to my head. And I think me and you are kind of the same in that regard. We're just people that like these things.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're a good match. Like if I had a tech guy on here, he would probably be irritated going, Vinny, God, no, the audio goes through channel XT and then it attaches to the Maria. And I'd be like, I just thought an elf was inside making cool strings. That's how I thought of the graphics. But I like the cartridges. You like the cartridges. But it seems like, hey, right now, Basket Brawl, I've got 3 copies, and one's a multi-cart. Does not work on this 7800. So if you go down, it's like 3 copies. None of them work. It's got to be the Atari 7800 that I own. These things are getting close to 50 years old. So the way to go in the future, I think, and in different releases, there's different sorts of things. Like there was different fixes, and some were a little bit more inferior, and some were cheaper, and some were better. And so I don't know any of that stuff. But the way to go in the future, I've talked to a lot of people, is these things are going to start failing. So the way to go in the future is kind of like these multi-carts. Now there was a Concerto go by for about $80.
Yep.
Very good, but still, very good, but still a little under what the Dragonfly was, which is about 150. And you said there's a new one coming out, and if you want to kind of, if this stuff goes sideways with the homebrews and all this stuff, this may be what we need to all use. What is the new thing coming out, and how much is it? And tell us what you were telling me about it the other day.
Oh, yeah. Over on the forum, Saint, who's with, I believe, Retro HQ, that does a lot of the flashcards, he's announced and been updating everybody on the 7800 GD, which is, the 7800.
You don't have to use the language.
Right. Yeah. It's GD is Game Drive, I believe.
Oh, okay. Never mind that.
Which falls in line with the Jaguar Game Drive, and I think the Link Straight Game Drive, and he has a whole bunch of them. But he's been working on the 7800 one, and it has a lot of cool stuff about it. A lot of things I didn't find out until recently. There is an additional accessory that comes with it separately, purchase it separately. And the combination of the 7800 GD and this other accessory, this controller dongle, not only lets you use a Sega Genesis controller, but it gives you the ability to reset off of the controller, to make a save state of your game off of the controller, to reload the save state off of the controller, and just do.
Whoa! So I'm playing my Atari 7800.
Mm-hmm.
and I've got the GD. And I apologize to my whoever, if the Pope is watching this, the GD thing, and I can pause it from my controller on the Genesis controller. So the
Mm-hmm.
start gimmick, right?
Right.
And then I can save it any 7800 game.
Yep. That's again. This is what to my understanding, I've been wrong on things before, but yeah, I understand as long as you're using the adapter. I think he said there's a way to do it without the adapter, but it's more
Wow.
finicky. You probably got to hold a button on the console and push a button or something. I don't know. But yeah, basically even having the ability to just reset off of the sofa would be nice in itself. Not to mention the save
Right.
states. Heck, with the save states, I could finally beat Tower Toppler probably.
No.
No.
Please let me have that record. I mean, I'm the current world champion right now for that, but please let me have
Yeah.
that. But
You'll have it for a while. But the big news about that, I woke up the other morning. I think it was Tuesday night, so Wednesday morning. I checked the forums, and Saint had released the 7800 GD at dragonbox.de. So it was a German exclusive release, but I think you could order it to anywhere in the world. He released it, announced it on his Twitter, and they sold out in 2.5 hours, I believe. They were out of stock. He
okay,
said
whoa. So, and let me stop. Somebody just said we need to have a tower toppler head to head, like cutting tongues, like they do down south. Me versus John. I'll fire him if he beats me. I'll fire him from the website. He can start his own, and it'll be 10 times bigger than mine in a month. But anyway, so they released it in Germany.
Yeah, it was a German website. I had to translate it off the browser there.
Look at you. You're doing extra work.
Yeah, well, Chrome does it for you, but yeah.
Oh.
I had to click allow. Yeah.
Okay.
But it went for sale. It sold out pretty quickly. I guess he said there wasn't like a ton of stock. But there was some for sale there, and anybody that got one, I'm pretty jealous of, because if I had gotten there, I probably would have picked one up too. But the price, I think I reported it to anybody that watched the last episode. I think I said it was going to be $80. It's actually $149.99.
Well, nobody saw the last one because of StreamYard.
Yeah.
But you did say 80.
Yeah,
it is what 149.
149. But when you add the features together, and I think it can play everything. Like I think one game that hasn't been playable on anything yet was Ricky and Vicky. I might be wrong. That might have worked on Dragonfly, but I'm pretty sure he said that game works on 7800 GD too. So
okay,
I mean that'll save you $500 there if you were.
Well, how do you get the? Well, let's talk about this. How do you get the ROM?
Well,
because that guy, the Penguinet guy, hasn't released the ROM. Like Bob,
right?
Atari Age came out and was like, we're pulling all these games, and Bob said, "Here's all the ROMs," which was really cool. And Bob didn't need, Bob needs like a GoFundMe or something. That Patreon. That was very nice of him to do that. But the Penguinet guy has had a lot of success with Ricky and Vicky on Steam. He actually sells copies of the album of the music. Bobby Clark over here in Knoxville, Tennessee, is the guy that he's right down the road from me. He actually is the guy that does the music, but they actually sell the album. I don't know if you ever saw that. It's on Steam. You can actually listen to it. There's a couple tracks on there that are really, really awesome. Have you played Ricky? Do you have Ricky and Vicky?
Yeah, I got it. I haven't beaten it yet, but I have it.
Oh my God. All right, this guy said he just watched the video where I broke the record on Tower Toppler. You should submit it by trying to get the best score and clear in the last tower. There was I will eventually, I don't know if this makes any sense to you, John, but like I used to kick so many games' asses when I was a kid,
Oh yeah.
and I'm an old man. And I've been around, and you would think with all my world experience, I would be better at these games. I used to be able to sit down and beat Tower Toppler like nothing. And then as I became a man, and people in the 90s and 2000s on these boards were like, God, Tower Toppler's too difficult. I was like, what are you talking about? But there was a thing about Tower Toppler 2 that was very strange. The way I had it set up, and I don't have my original Atari, I used to have a 2600 kind of joystick that had buttons like this. It looked like a flight simulated thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was able to play that version of Tower Toppler on my Atari 7800 that I had as a kid. And I was able to jump slide in the air. Like if I hit it certain ways, and I was able to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was able to do trick jumps with slide, not 100%, but dude, I could pull off some amazing things. And I wonder.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea how that worked. I can't do it now. The third tower on Tower Toppler is called Trap of Tricks, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
And you've got the trick of it is you got to stand at a certain point and let one of the molecules come over and slide down to another level. Yeah. When I was playing it, I could go on the other side and skip almost parkour. I could almost parkour up the tower to another level. Wow. Not even so my points were extremely cheap or what. I mean,
right.
My points would shoot up and my times would shoot up. I'm sorry, I'm getting messaged like crazy.
I actually did that once. I didn't know it was a thing, but yeah, I was waiting for the molecule to come, and I got bored of waiting, and somehow I jumped up. I only jumped up one platform, but I did it once.
Well, there you go. That's kind of it's and that's to me another thing about the game I think is awesome is figuring out some of that crazy sneaky stuff. So we deviated, and that's what I do. If you've ever seen anything I do, I go off these damn rabbit trails. So we were talking about the 7800 GD. Did you list all the features, or did I cut you off?
There's more. There's a developer.
I'm sorry, high score. I don't know. You didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, I believe there's high score. I could be wrong on that, but I think it has high score saving on there. I also believe there's some developer tools with it. I like you, I don't know what those tools would be, but I understand that there's something about it that makes it easier to develop for or to get your files on there or whatever it is. Well, so
on the GD thing?
On the GD thing, yeah.
Gee whiz.
And there's a plug on the front. I don't know if again, I'll have to look into it some more. I don't know if that's a video out that's on the front or if that's for the developers. I don't know, but the thing it looks pretty high tech, especially with the reflective label that they put on them now. So.
Okay, so you scared us. This guy needs to send you a 10% royalty check, by the way. So you scared us saying they sold out in Germany last week, and they're going to be available in the United States when?
He said he expects the next week. So sometime after Monday, according to him, it should be on Stone Age Gamer. And he said Atari Age too. So I think he's sending Albert some stock.
Stone Age. Okay. Okay.
Stone Age Gamer has something where you pay $15 more and you get, I think you get a manual and a couple of stickers and a hard case for it or something. So,
okay.
If that's important.
Well, it sounds like Atari is selling this thing. So, and that's going to be available. And then we're worried now that that's going to sell out fast. So, but is there a waiting list or anything or not yet? Is it first come, first serve?
I believe it. Anybody that it's first come, first serve as far as I understand. I've been waiting to sign up for it. If I seen a pre-sale or anything, I was going to be all over it. But the most you can do is sign up to get a notification off of Stone Age Gamer, which if you're interested, I would do that. Have it email go right to your phone. That way, when it comes out, you can put in that order and get it in.
Look at you. That's pretty awesome. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, now we don't even know. I've talked to Muddy personally, and I don't know if he wants me to say this out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's past his bedtime over there in Great Britain. But he's very concerned EXO won't be available in physical cart. And because the Hokey is just not jiving with the music of the game. And so it may be the only way to play EXO on a system like you're supposed to. Yeah. I beat it on a keyboard to review it. Now, I actually had an Xbox controller. It's fine. I like playing the thing on the machine that it's supposed to. And I felt like a jerk for years because I fell in love with the Genesis controller adapter from Aladdin to Seagull. And I felt like this isn't the way but it's like I was playing. So in the background here, I'm playing Asteroids. You said on the first one, that's your favorite original game.
Yeah.
And so I was going to try to get a good score and see if I was going to let you make fun of me because I know you're probably an expert in this, but I played out of the box. I got about 27,000. But what's your top score on Asteroids? Intermediate.
Intermediate is usually what I play. I think my highest score I ever got was 84,000.
Yeah, I figured it was something like that.
Which I've seen people crack 100,000 easily, but I don't know how they do it. It gets so crazy once you get past 30,000.
Well, I wouldn't know. But anyway, it got pretty rough around 20 for me. But
when the tiny ship comes, that's rough too. Yeah.
So this guy says the GD is going to be the only way to play these Atari Age ports unless they stop the last chance sell. Yeah. I don't know where you this is live, but unadvertised. There's not a lot of people watching it now. We hope people watch it later. But I don't know where you came in, but there's a rumor, Pac Billy. I don't know if that means you're a hillbilly that likes Pac-Man or what that means, but or your name's Billy and you like Pac-Man. But anyway, there's a rumor that we talked about earlier that Atari may be buying Atari Age. So that may be the gimmick. And John astutely said that the Atari homebrews are still in the store. That, to me, says a lot. That gives a lot of credentials to that stupid rumor. So it may not be so stupid after all. And I wanted to give you a shout out. We said this on one of the podcasts that went into the asshole of the universe and nobody saw, into the black hole of bad podcasts. But you said when we were this Portland 9 that came out that we call the 7800 releases, you said get the ones that you think could be a problem first. Because I was like, God, I don't have $500. My transmission on one of my taxis went out, and it just everything. I spent $5,000 producing this movie, and this is all coming out of my pocket and stuff. And it was like, but I did. I got. You also said that Super Nintendo adapter for Attack of the Joe Pesci robots might be something that goes away. So I bought all the ones like, Popeye and Keystone Coppers and, all the ones that could be disappeared. And there's a couple I have left, but man, crazy that you saw that. That was kind of suspicious. Where were you on the night of the 15th? No, I'm just kidding. Now I wanted to do this. We did this before, and this podcast again was lost. This will be the first one. I hope that this is when we were in happier and more certain waters about we were just trying to generate interest of Atari homebrew games. We did a thing of in the last 2 years, I think there was 18 or 19 Atari 7800 games released from 2021 to now, which is pretty substantial. That's a pretty good chunk of games. Some of them are great. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are not so hot. But we love the effort, and we were going to go over the top 5 that we anticipated and our top 5 favorites. Do you want to do that real quick? We won't do it as long as we did the other one because I don't want to be on there for 3 hours tonight. So we'll just go over the list of the games that have been released in the last 2 years, and we'll go over the ones that are safe. That's something we can do that's a little different.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I got the list here, and if you, I just did this right before the podcast. So if I missed one, be sure to speak up. And I've segregated these a little bit. So we'll start with the Video 61 games, which, if you guys don't know, there's a website called Video 61.
Yeah.
Atari sells.
Yep.
What is it now? Yeah, AtariSells.com.
Yep.
And the website's a little rudimentary, but they're starting to make a lot of games. And some of them are actually really good. Their packaging is nowhere near as good as Atari Age, but I don't know. The little tiny boxes they come in now, I'm starting to dig those, I don't know. They start to look like their own little thing. So sometimes the labels come off or whatever, but they're cheaper. And they're not as expensive as Atari Age.
They save space, too. I just wish they'd fit the manual in the box. Having that big laminated sheet is kind of...
Yeah, they always have they have a weird comic, but they're different.
I like the comic.
Yeah,
it's unique.
So in the last 2 years, they released Animal Keeper, which is a version of Zookeeper, and Venture, which is Venture. Yep. And I actually talked to Peter, who runs, I think, that website, and he's a little concerned. Is it Peter?
Peter, he makes the games. He doesn't run the actual website, but he's involved. He's
okay. Yeah. He's got glasses and he looks like a nice guy. And
good guy.
He said he's a little worried about what's happening at Atari Age. Now, if Atari buys Atari Age, then I guess he doesn't have anything to worry about. But they do some ports too. They do have one coming out called Tile Smasher, which may be the game I'm looking forward to the most over there. Yeah. Which I like ball and bat games like Crazy Bricks and Super Breakout and Arkanoid. I love those games.
Me
so
too.
I'm looking forward to Tile Smasher, maybe the most of anything. But they released in the last 2 years Animal Keeper, which is a reboot or a port of Zookeeper, and Venture. Then Gambler released, I think, in the last 2 years, Merlin 2.
Yep.
And he tag teamed with Franco Dragon to make the monstrosity. It went away. Adventures
of Ollie Troll. Yeah. Or Ollie. Is it Ollie Troll?
Ollie Troll. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you play that game long enough, you'll actually see Franco Dragon running around, which is kind of. Then Atari 2600 Connection. Is that the name of it? They released Pineapple. Is that the.
Yeah. He.
Is it 2600? Is that what it is? Atari 2600 Connection?
That was the website, yeah. I don't know.
But that no longer exists.
Yeah. But he still makes games.
So he made Pineapple. His better game was probably Go Sub.
Yeah.
Go Sub's a better game than Pineapple. But that was released. And then Atari, these are the Atari Age releases in the last 2 years. One was, or they released 4 a couple of years ago. Or about a year and a half ago. Night Guy in a low res. What is the damn thing? Night Guy. That's what I always call it. But Night Guy in a low res world. Castle Days.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Danger Zone, the first official release by Muddy Funster. Wizard's Dungeon and Dragon's Descent.
Yep.
That was a couple years ago, and then. Just in the last few months, and this is why this news is so crazy, that 2048, Dragon's Havoc, Keystone Coppers, Popeye, Slide Boy, and Mazeland, Galaxian, Pac-Man Collection 40th Anniversary, Uniwar S, and Attack of the Pesci Robots. Now, of these that are safe, Video 61 will have all their games, and so will Gambler, Franco Dragon, and Pineapple is safe. Night Guy is safe because it's Vlad's original idea. Danger Zone is safe because it's different enough than Combat to be its own gimmick. Wizard's Dungeon was Bido Empire's original idea. That's safe. Dragon Descent is safe. I didn't realize how many of these were safe. It sounds like a catastrophe, but there's a lot of games that will still be available.
Oh, yeah.
2048 will still be safe. Dragon's Havoc is safe. That's Revan Tully's third in the trilogy. All right. Keystone Coppers, which
is not safe.
it is not. That's Muddy Futzer's version of Keystone Capers. Popeye definitely is not safe. Slide Boy is safe. Galaxian is not safe. Pac-Man 40 is not safe. Uniwar S is not safe. And Attack of the Joe Pesci Robots is safe, even though that is a port of a Commodore 64 game. They do have permission to sell it over at Atari Age. So, with all that being said, let's see what the chat says as you get ready here. I love the 7800 Asteroids, but I wish they had carried over the option to play with a shield instead of warping. I know Bob made a vector game, but I want that option on.
It's
the shield is so much better than the hyper.
And it's weird too because 2600 I think had both. I'm pretty sure. Couldn't you choose between the two, or am I? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but
I don't think so. The thing about the 7800 version seems like it randomly explode sometimes, right?
Yeah, they warn if you do it, you have a chance to blow up on re-entry. So
yeah, Animal Keeper. I got to order Animal Keeper, which is weird because I was actually looking forward to that.
Get Popeye and Keystone Pack, Billy. They're going away. You got 9 days.
Yeah. And I played Popeye today. I was trying to break. I was trying to get on novice. I was trying to get the level 12, and which would be a record. And oh yeah, he said on the 2600 game. Now Pack Billy says you can play with shield or warp. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought you could because I did play both versions as a kid. I thought that was something.
I gotta say, I miss the vector graphics, but the cereal bowl graphics are kind of cool on this. And there's some interesting music with it too, like there's SOS frequencies and stuff, and it's not as bad as I probably harshed on it before.
No, it's.
Well, I know you like
Asteroids,
it. It's Bob. It's also Bob DeCrescenzo's favorite original game. Not nearly mine, but I didn't review it on the website. Crossbow did.
Oh wow!
And he kind of gave it the 3.5 or the 4.0. But I like Asteroids Deluxe better than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we were going to do, I don't know if you did this because I didn't prep you probably good enough, but did you list the top 5 what you were anticipating before they were released?
Or no? Oh, of anticipating?
Yeah. We'll skip. We'll skip.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter. Okay. So let's go number 5. Number 5 on our top 5 of the last 2 years. I'll go first if you wanna. If you're still getting ready.
I'm ready.
My 5th favorite game out of the last out of these 18 or 19 games in the last 2 years was Slide Boy. I love Slide Boy a lot. I just wish. There it is.
Yeah.
I wish. My only complaint with that game, I love the boss battle at the end of the game. The ending's okay. I wish it was longer. And I remember you were talking when we were playing this game together over the internet. We were like, "Oh, what do you think of this game?" We were both like, "Oh my god!" And you were like, "30 levels is not enough." And I was like, I'm an old man. It really, once you start getting it, because the thing is once you beat a level, you'll probably never die on that level again unless you're just being stupid and sloppy or whatever. And 50 levels would have probably made that a higher rated game. But that's my 5th favorite one. It's still very good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. Even if he didn't want to add more levels, he could have even added like a hard mode where he adds one more obstacle to the existing. But that was my only thought was it felt a little short. I could have done another 20 levels and I would have probably been really happy. So, but it's a great game. It plays great and it's fun. It could be a fun speed run game too because you move pretty quick.
Have you ever figured out the survival thing? I mean, I can't get past level 10 or 11. There has to be a secret or something we're missing out on. And I've messaged Vlad, and I know he's in another country. I don't, and he's never responded. I'm like, what's the deal with this survival mode, bud? And he's never responded. So
yeah, I don't know. I assume that you're just supposed to get as far as you can. I see no way to beat survival mode.
No, Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, you have 99 seconds in one life to go as far as you can in the game. The last boss battle takes 45 seconds to a minute, even if you're an expert to beat it.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 seconds if you're very good. But yeah, there's no way to get 30 levels in 99 seconds.
Yeah.
I just think there may be a trick that we don't know.
Right. There might be.
All right, what's the number? Oh, let me read this to you real quick before you give yours. Did they fix the bottle break bug in Popeye? I don't think they have. That my review that was on the Atari 7800 Forever review of this game, I think gave the guy Daryl a conniption fit when he was trying when he was because he was like, what? So but still an excellent one of the best games in the system, man.
It is fixed on the ROM, I know, but I think the ROM's demo. I think you only can play the first 3.
Wow.
But,
yeah. Oh, yeah, like you can't really play the game without buying
I think so, yeah.
But they did fix it on that.
Yeah.
So they fixed it on the demo. So
yep.
All right, what's your 5th favorite game of the last 2 years?
So my number 5 was one that was initially probably at the bottom of the list. I think I messaged you one time and said
this game sucks.
Yeah, I said I really don't like this game. And again, I think you told me something like, well, I kept saying it's not Gauntlet. I want it to be Gauntlet. It's not Gauntlet. And I think you said something along the lines of, well, why are you, bashing this game for not being something it isn't? And after I accepted it for what it was, much like, well, I ain't gonna say, but Wizard's Dungeon. This game, again, I wanted it to be more fast paced. It's a little bit slower. It's more exploration than get to the exit. But it's a lot of fun, and I've gotten a lot of playtime out of it. So
that's good.
A lot of replayability, get different weapons, each playthrough. It's a good game.
The final fight is the best part of the game, I think. Fighting the grappler wizard or whatever is the coolest thing. I think you have 4 different weapons. You level them up. There's different interesting concepts with the graveyard and stuff. And for a total original idea, man, you can't. It's not the best game in the world, but it's kind of like it's almost like Dark Chambers 2 or something. It feels something like that. I dig it too. All right, what's your number 4?
Number 4.
Yeah, the Pack Billy says he thought Wizard's Dungeon was a hack of Dark Chambers. No, it's a lot more involved than Dark Chambers. There's a lot more to it, but
it's a better. It's an improved Dark Chambers, I guess. If you want,
it's better than Dark Chambers. I'll definitely give it that.
Yeah. My number 4 is the final game in the Dragons trilogy, Dragon's Havoc, the shmup, shoot 'em up.
There it is.
Dragon game. This game, I really, I know that some of the graphics aren't, the greatest. The colors are kind of, sometimes they don't mix together well. But I really dig the parallax scrolling, the background scrolling at different speeds. And eventually a lot of the details really shine through, and some of the color choices later pop a lot more. So the whole time you're playing, in the background there's like a city that reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. It reminds me of that green city that they were going down the road to, and you get closer and closer to it as you play through the levels, which is kind of neat. And then you get to see the inside, and it's a really beautiful looking game in some parts.
You say in your review it gets better as it goes. The graphics does.
Yeah, the graphics do. Yeah.
And the color schemes are less gaudy.
I'd say it's not for everybody. If you have trouble with the first few levels, then God help you if you make it to the end, because that end is he doesn't hold back. It's brutal. It hurts, but it's a good hurt.
It's like you pay a girl about $100 to come in your with the
shoes
black,
and the whip,
and the black leather, and it's that kind of thing. What's funny is I'm not a fan of this game because you have to be good. You can't really half-ass this game, and I much prefer Dragon's Descent. It's not a bad game, and
Yeah.
the merciful thing that he did is you can just keep continuing. You don't have to. It's not like,
Yeah.
you wasted your last continue, now you have to start over. You can just keep pummeling through. Hey, put your head down.
Yep.
Number 4 for me is actually kind of funny because it's Dragon's Descent, which is his second game. I enjoyed the dungeon crawler. I enjoyed it was like an axe. There you go.
Yep.
Boy, Vlad's getting some, or not Vlad, but Revan Tully's getting some ink tonight. There you go.
Yeah.
And his first one, the thing I like about this trilogy is his first game is a Columns ripoff with dragons. The second game is kind of like Adventure, even though Adventure had dragons.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a strange shooter. You can't shoot up and down. You have to position and shoot left and right. There's boss battles. You can turn on hard mode, where if you touch the wall, you get fried. There's a time limit, soft time limit on it. You power up your dragon as you go. And you can play endless levels. You can just play to level 7. There's a lot of options with it, and it's fun. It feels like an adventure and also feels like an arcade game. And I applaud him for finding that sweet mix on Dragon's Descent.
Yeah, I actually beat that game for the first time last week.
Oh,
so after you said there was 7 levels, I had to go.
Yeah, if you play now, okay. I think I know the answer. Do you prefer the ending of Dragon's Havoc over the ending of Dragon's Descent?
Yeah, Dragon's Havoc is more satisfying of an ending.
Okay, is that one of the best endings of the system, do you think?
It's up there because you gotta remember these games, there's no ending that's like really
Ricky and Vicky.
Oh yeah.
Ricky
I haven't
Vicky's,
seen that yet.
Yeah, Ricky and Vicky's is pretty damn good.
It's up there. It's well up there.
Okay. All right, and then my let's see, my number 3 is Night Guy. I love Night Guy. Night Guy was Vlad's gimmick, and it's a kind of an adventure type game too, but it's just unbelievable, and it's so fun. I don't know how Vlad does it, but he has the same style of graphics in every game. There's 4 secrets in this game that are really fun to find. There's like a snail boss that has something to do with music. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I like the final boss, and then once you beat the final dragon, you got to get out in a certain amount of time. There's underwater segments. It feels like a 2-dimensional Dragon's Lair in a way, mixed with adventure, and because you keep running into different things. It's simple. It's breezy. It's one of the best games in the system. I mean, that's an amazing game.
Yeah, he does have a style. You can tell his games from anybody else's. All I have to do is see the graphics, and I know, oh, that's something he made. I like Night Guy. I was really, really excited for it. Out of the 4 games that released, that was probably the one I really wanted to play the most. Again, I enjoy it. I think it's another game that you could speed run, because at the end it gives you the time. Think it gives you the time you completed it or the time you had left. I don't remember. But yeah, you could get a lot of replayability that way. Just trying to beat your time and doing it faster. And
well, you have the choice too to beat the cat or to save the kitty cat or save a dog. So you can save both little animals.
Yep.
And then you can join the medieval version of PETA. What's your third one there, big guy?
So my number 3 is a remake of a game me and my sister played a lot growing up. Keystone Coppers, which I feel this game as a package. If you haven't picked this up yet, but you've been meaning to, you might want to grab it. I feel as a package, even this game is excellent. The the box, the art style is pretty cool. It's like an old cartoon, not Disney, but older cartoon, and the manual is actually like a newspaper that you open up, and there's different articles that they're kind of silly. They have silly little things in them. There's a picture of Muddy in it, and it tells you things that you need to know about the game and how to play and stuff. But they do it in a way where they sneak it in there in between the humor and the personality. It's just, and that we're not even talking about the gameplay. It's just a great package.
And this is, the game is fine and it's good and everything like that. This is the thing we're worried about if Atari does buy Atari Age, is because these accoutrements or whatever they throw in with the when you buy a box and and a game and a manual and stuff, are those going to go out the ass, and are those going to be replaced with something cheap? And that may be something we lose on stuff like that. So the thing it just kind of dawned on me, Atari buying Atari Age may not just be affecting the license game, it's going to affect all the games that these guys would want to release on Atari, and that's the scary thing about it. So Keystone Coppers, I never was a big fan of that game. It's kind of funny. Muddy Funster is a fantastic freaking programmer, and he keeps trying to. I don't like Hero either. Don't tell him I said that; it'll make him cry. I don't like Combat. He released Danger Zone, Keystone Coppers, and he's got a version of Hero coming out. And I'm like, now EXO, he made me a personal copy, which is awesome because he knows I sucked at the game. He made it really easy. He put 69 lives because he's a kinky, cheeky bastard. And he unlocked a lot of stuff for me so I could see it, so I could review it as if I was a good player. That's amazing. And his Bernie character is really fun. He's got a couple good games for that Bernie. So it's not that Muddy's just making games I don't like. Bob does that too. Like, I hate Mooncrest. The version of Mooncrest Bob made is great. I just hate the game. But what is your number 2 there, fella?
Number 2 is Pac-Man Collection. I mean, you gotta.
That's the wrong one. Oh my God!
Pac-Man Collection.
There you go.
I figured I'd show both because essentially, if the new Pac-Man Collection, the 40th anniversary, the mazes are more arcade accurate. To do so, he had to make the screen scroll a little bit, which is fine. The sprites are more in line with the arcade. The ghost logic is more in line with the arcade. So if you're into the arcade version, this is the one to get. And I thought I'd just shout out, if you like the 7800 version, get the original. But these games are hot in Atari Age. They have been since they came out, and there's good reason for it.
Well, the original, the one that's the blue box predominantly that you showed first, that was the number 1 selling game on the system, or I'm sorry, on the entire Atari Age website. And the 2600 games are vastly more popular than the 7800 games. That just tells you how awesome Bob DeCrescenzo's Pac-Man Collection was. I love that game. It's rated perfect. There's not very many games rated perfect at Atari7800forever.com. We should do a video. I was wanting to do an article of a hand-in-hand 40th anniversary versus the one from 20 years ago, and say what's the pros and cons of each, and that type of thing. And we should do a review like that at some point. But that's a very interesting, because some people may go, I don't know if I want to spend $50 on this game, and then when we do it, they may be like, oh my God, it's so much better.
And it does have the speed up hack too. I do like that. When you play the first few levels, usually it goes a little slower than I like.
Not me.
No,
I like it slow as shit. I'm not good at this stuff. So what do you got left? Number 1? Yeah, I'll do my. I think I got 3. I think I got to do. What do I got to do? Oh, I got to do. Okay, number 2. For me is Popeye, and I know I kind of exposed that glitch. I think I was the only person in the world that ever found that glitch about the beer bottle gimmick on the second level not working. But even with that, this game is made. I mean, this is a cherry freaking game for the Atari 7800, and I've always said this game should be on the 7800. And I think another article we should write or a video we should do is a fucking heavyweight fight between Popeye versus Donkey Kong PK, and we'll
Oh yeah,
see, which is the better platformer, and we'll just weigh in because those two games were incredible. There you go, look at
yeah.
you there. Yeah, man, it's like Pacquiao and De La Hoya or something, dude.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Because those, now that you play them, you're like, which one is better, man? It's just, they're both to me better than the arcade versions. But I'm also crazy. I also like rancid milk. But anyway, enough about Popeye. My number one surprised me because I did an article of anticipation of the games I did not give a shit about, or like I was ranking the games as far as anticipation. And I think Popeye was my number one game I was anticipating with these 9 that were released at Atari Age. Now, this one was like 8 or 7, but it's become my favorite game. It's Attack of the Joe Pesci robots. Am I a clown to you? It's actually just Pesci robots. And I've got a video review if you want to go into that. And I won't get into it too much, but they over at Twin Galaxies, they just had a competition in June, and I didn't have a lot of time, but I won 5 contests. And the guy's like, I'm going to mail you 5 Attack of the Pesci robot albums, which I'm like, how about you send me 1 album and give me something else? You know, I bet shipping 5 albums is not cheap. So I was trying to levy to get, one of the grand prizes was a gold NES version of the game.
Oh, wow.
That was the grand prize. But anyway, if you're interested in that game, that one's safe at Atari Age right now. But what I like about that guy, and I know, John, you don't like that game very much, but what I like about it is it's kind of like a top-down version of Impossible Mission in a way. You have to figure out the patterns of the robots. And what I like is his theory, and I know I've said this a couple times already, is it's made for guys like us who have 20 minutes to play a video game. It's not, you play like Uni War S, pew, 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 you die. Maybe you play it twice. You've played it 4 minutes and you take it out. It's also not like Ultima Online or something like one of these old games, or like Midnight Mutants where you have to spend an hour and a half. It's a game where you can sit down for 20 minutes, figure out how to beat it, and try to get the best time. And my only problem with that game, even though it's my favorite, I didn't rate it very high. I mean, it's not rated perfect or anything because I'm still trying to find the cherry way to control the game because there's a problem with each one.
Yeah. They're to me, and maybe other people feel differently. I know there's a lot of hype around the SNES adapter, so maybe people are loving it. I haven't looked into that, but each one just has a little something that's a little off to me in the controls. So
I'm actually getting a discounted Super Twin over at Ed Ladden.
Oh, nice.
It's double joystick. It's made for Robotron with the 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a video where I play because my favorite way to play it is the Old Star Raiders keypad and the joystick. But that keypad cord, God, I'm an idiot, cord is so short, you have to be at the TV like this. Like you got to get all that radiation. Your mom said, get away from the TV. You even try to get a Robotron coupler for the Pro lines, and you can't even use it because you got to hit the interior buttons. So that was a waste. Yeah. But now you got something to play. There you go. Time Salvo and Robotron there but at least you tried something new.
Yeah. Here's the issue. You need to get both buttons on both controllers, and
there's no way.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Can't do it. So that's the trick. Maybe the Ed Ladden controller makes this game like a 5 out of 5. But it's a fun game, and it's amazing how fast they developed that one, dude. I mean, that seemed like it was black and white, and like 3 months later, it was full color.
Yeah, they did a great job porting that game.
It's a computer game crammed into a 7800, and that's why there's some little squeezing pains.
Yep,
shoehorn pains.
Exactly.
All right, man. What's your number one? I think everybody knows what it is, but
so my number one. I mean, we kind of already talked about it, but it has to be Popeye. I mean, even with the bottle glitch that we talked about, I mean, yeah, that kind of hampered it a little bit, but it's so much fun that who cares? I mean, um, you know, he did such a good job with this port. The game feels awesome. It plays great. He even or you were complaining about the red screen on easy mode. He even made a cheat to get rid of that. So he, you know,
Yeah.
he he did a great job with it. I can't think of anything more he could have done to make it better. It's a
I wrote
fantastic port.
I wrote an article on my website about how he could have made it better, and I sent him a message, and I think he thought I was an idiot. But I think it would be great. Now, this is my idea. Now, again, my review on my video review, I think, made a lot of people upset because I criticized the game, and the game is one of the top 10 by far Atari 7800 games ever to be created. So I don't want to.
Yeah.
And it was his first game too. That's so amazing.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's it. That's the first game he ever made, and
Wow.
it's amazing that it was so good. But that being said, I want a game. Now we're going off into the weird thing. We'll end the show with this weird shit. I wrote an article called I think it's called Plumber versus Sailor.
Yeah.
I would like to see a game where you could pick Popeye or Mario, and you go through Donkey Kong and Popeye, and you use the ability, Mario can jump and Popeye can punch, and mix it up and have different versions with different bad guys doing, the bad, like Bluto could be fighting Mario on a DK level or whatever. DK could be, and I know that's crazy and insane, but a lot of people don't realize that Popeye was supposed to be the character group behind Donkey Kong, and for some reason they decided to go with their own. Thank God, because it saved video games, because who gave a shit about a 30s cartoon back then? But Donkey Kong, of course, basically made the Mario Kingdom.
You know why they didn't go with Popeye is because they couldn't get the rights. They asked for him and they said, "Who are you? We ain't gonna give you the rights."
Bunch of Japanese guys, get out of here! You bunch of 5 foot nothings. So, get out of here. Go eat some spinach. So, and that was probably, I think, King Syndicate or whoever owns Popeye. They probably are kicking themselves. But they inadvertently saved video games as we know it, because I mean, there's nothing bigger than the Mario universe in video games. So.
Right.
And
absolutely.
Well, man, I think this. This guy Pack Billy says he's going to have to get Popeye. We would say get Popeye if you could. You got 9 days on this last chance sell. Get Popeye if you only could get one game, and then you're going to have to figure out if you want Galaxian or Pac-Man 40 or Keystone Coppers or Univor S, I think, but there's so many. There's so many others that have been released over the years.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, the Cubert one,
Cubert.
Bonk. Oh my God,
Bonk, Frogger.
The Frogger going is good.
What Astro Blaster, Astro Fighter, Baby Pac-Man.
Oh my God, yeah. Golly, man, these people are just gonna. That is painful. It's painful what these people can't experience.
Is it Scramble? I think
Scramble's another one. Scramble,
that's a good version of that game. Yeah.
Oh man, it's just there. We did it the other that podcast evaporated into the ether. I mean, we went over and we were just like, it was like we were watching our family get snapped out of existence in in the Infinity War by Thanos. It was like, not Grandma.
Yeah.
Not the dog. I mean, it's rough.
That's true. That every title we listed off, we said, "Oh man, really? That one?" Yep, that one's going too.
Yeah.
So,
well, man, I think we made it. I think because we had a pretty consistent couple of listeners here, watchers. I think it sounds good. It's going to live on forever, and we'll just do it live from now on. But thank you so much. I'm glad this worked.
Yeah.
Nobody complained of sound, and I think we're rocking and rolling. I'm going to get to busy getting this stuff publicized on our little websites that we do that on, and hopefully we'll build a little following. And then if we get a couple hundred people watching us every time we do this, we'll go invade Canada and steal their cats from Zero Page Homebrew or whoever they are. Bunch of Canadians. Their free health care. We'll go steal their health care from them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Got anything you want to say before we say goodnight?
Like always, well, I guess this is technically my first one, but it was a lot of fun to be on here. Make sure you check out the website, the Atari7800forever.com, because I have a few of my things on there. So read my stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, just read John's. Everything else is crap. Don't
Right.
look at anything else. Everything else is evil. But the Atari 7800 Forever websites, I'm not bragging, but I've been doing it off and on since 2000. It used to be Cousin Vinny's Rock and Roll Atari 7800 Panoramic Frou-Frou. I hate brevity. I just always, but anyway, but it had a lot of stuff I forgot. Like, I went back to the Wayback Machine to look at that old website from 2000s and stuff. And there was so much stuff I forgot about, like Clax and the David Dent interview, and how Gambler was making games. Oh, we were going to talk about there is currently on eBay a Halloween 2007 cart going for $200 right now. It's not even a game. And I didn't realize there was a cart of the 2007 version. But this is the 2007 version, and I think it's the same thing. It's a damn pumpkin head, and he says thanks. Yep, there it is. That's the same box as the one I've got, but it's a different. I don't know how many of those he made, but there was Gambler 172 or 127 made those. And the first one is my name's in one of them.
I was gonna say your name's on the box here.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
that's back when people loved me, before I was an asshole.
$200 though. I mean,
it's not even a game.
I could, nothing against the people that made the Halloween cart. It was a really nice idea, especially as a card to all the community members.
Yeah.
I could understand though the Robert De Castrenzo cart going for $600 because there's a lot of good games on there, and now that you can't get them on Atari Age, that makes that cart worth even more.
Oh wow, that's true.
So I could understand that cartridge going for quite a bit because those are amazing games. But Halloween for $200,
yeah. Pack Billy says we need to have a forum on our website. We don't have enough traffic for that.
Yeah, Atari Age kind of conquers that.
We're kind of a bemusement of some of the people there. We're not the entire. I have the feeling a lot of people don't like what I do, which I don't care about. I'm not paranoid about it or anything. I'm not a tech guy, so I think I talk stupid. Basically, to put it, and so all the tech guys, the really smart guys over there, I think rub their head when they read my reviews of their games and stuff. And he also says we need to do a review of Junior Pac-Man, which there are about 5 or 6 games that are it's so weird they're not done yet, like Dungeon Stalker and Meteor Shower, and we need to knock those out. There is a lot of Pac-Man games we haven't done yet. But it's just because, good God.
I think I have Meteor Shower I can send to you. I could have swore I wrote something on that. Maybe I wrote it and never gave it to you.
Oh, yeah. Is it a written review?
Yeah, it is. We could kick out a video of it.
And shoot the UFO.
Yep.
That will be, I don't know who made that, but they'll probably cry at the end of that one. That was see some of those. I don't know.
That's Breck's
which I love his version of Alpha Race, or Omega Race, which is one of the best versions of that.
Oh yeah, so, he did a great job on that port.
If you get an Alpha Race, that's over at Good Deal Games. You got to play it without the inertia slowing you down. You got to play it where you just go crazy. Just the little boop, 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 that kind of sucks. But if you're going around, bouncing around and stuff like that, that makes that game so much more fun. And you got to change the background color to black. I don't know why blue is the default color. But if you do that, then that game's all right. All right, man. Well, great show. Good job. Hurrah, hurrah. The good guys have won. It's a strange time. And I guess, if the news comes out that Atari buys Atari Age, we'll probably do another podcast pretty quickly to be like, what do you think that's going to mean? And we'll just talk like little girls about it. But
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, man. I know you're tired. Get some sleep. It was good having you. And sorry about the other 2 times.
No,
Thanks.
it's been fun.
Yeah, spread the word. Atari Saving 100 Forever's bullshit podcast. Yay. Thumbs up.